back to Milkweeds and Roses. Well, it is a downright nasty day, and I've got a short window here. As the temperature is dropping, we have some precipitation, and I don't know, I'm no meteorologist, but that sure looks like snow clouds up there. So let's see what we can get done here. I have some bulbs to plant for fall, for a new garden bed here, formerly the ash tree mound, but it is now the black gum tree mound, my newest garden bed. And I've planted, for the most part, I've chosen some bulbs and just a couple of tulips, not a bunch, because of rabbits. But they should be color coordinated or look kind of nice here with what I anticipate to be the spring color of this new tree. So let me just get to it, because as I said, the weather, she's a changin', and I don't know how much time I have left. Not to mention, I'm shooting this on my phone, and I have to be conscious of getting it too wet. Do you ever have that problem? Okay, let's go ahead and get the job done. All right, I'll show you, first of all, let me show you what I've got. So I have some appledorn. Aren't these pretty? And I have some, ooh, these are so gorgeous. Sun, isn't that nice? Lightning sun. And then a couple of yellow emperor, which I thought would be kind of interesting. All right, and then to match the yellow, I have an allium yellow fantasy. This one doesn't have a picture, but it'll be nice. And then some narcissus, because I found that planting narcissus and allium, things that repel rodents and squirrels around bulbs that they like tulips, helps to protect them a little bit more from the critters that like to dig. And I have some double daffodils, white and peach here. I can't pronounce that. Desina, but they're white and peach. Mid to late spring. So I thought in here with the peach and the yellow would be kind of nice. Now I also have some white narcissus, some poeticus, acatea, white daffodils. So, and then a pink daffodil blend. I have some of these in the back, and I really like in the back garden, upper west garden, and I like the way they perform. They're really good. Now I have some other bulbs, which I might have to break this bulb planting into some segments here depending on the weather. But I have more bulbs for the rose garden, allium and daffodils, some more bulbs for the upper north garden, that new, well, it's a year old now, damper area up over there, and then a few for the west garden, like the west, my version of a walled garden. They're smaller bulbs, and because they're closer to the patio, I thought we could appreciate them more. So, and I also have some Globe Masters, some big boys. Those will go in the rose bed. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, I have my trusted Hori Kori, because there still are some root problems here with this garden bed from what was a 40-year-old ash tree. So I'll get done what I can. Wish me luck. So to begin, I laid out the packages of bulbs where I thought I wanted them to be. So I've got the tulips closer to the middle and some of the daffodils on the outside. And again, the idea here is that hopefully when rabbits approach this new garden bed, they will be thwarted by the daffodils and things that they don't find appetizing, like some of these grasses, some asters that I planted in the early fall, and there's a peony in the front of this one. I also am careful when I'm digging here that I don't want to get close to the established roots of this tree. Was just planted earlier this year, so the roots, as I'm digging through here, I haven't found some of the roots that have gone too far out of the
the established root zone that it had when it was put in the ground. I think it is growing a little bit though. And yes, of course, I find black walnuts just about everywhere I dig, whether it's here in the tree mound, or if it's in the rose garden, or if it's in the north bed or the west bed. It doesn't seem to matter. The squirrels and the eastern chipmunks find creative places to stash these. So working around the old ash tree roots here, I put the daffodils in here, and again, finding some good places to plant.
Okay, so here I am in the damp north garden. Oh, de Monte Don. So I have a few bulbs that I'd like to plant here, and this is mostly just for a good show for spring out our window. So it's kind of like the first glimpses of color, because I do think it's not just viewing your garden from the outside that matters, it's how it looks from the inside. Good way to cheer you up in the spring and fall, do you know what I mean? To see some pretty color outside. So to that end, I have some alliums, blue, because there's an awful lot of pink in this particular garden, and this one, which is a little bit bigger, which I think is beautiful, isn't it? Got actually as well. Whoops, can you see the name? I don't know if you can see the name. There you go. All right. And then I also have some series of daffodils. I don't see any tulips going in right here, but I might find those a little bit later. But some pink and white large daffodils going in there, as well as, what do I have? Some yellow crocus. I think I could plant those right up front. Wouldn't that be kind of pretty? Because that yellow crocus then would be kind of a nice companion for Narcissus avalanche, because it's yellow and white. So yellow crocus, yellow, and the good thing about these, all of these are pest resistant. Nothing is, deer proof or rabbit proof 100% for the most part. Yeah, but that's what my game is here. And daffodil double cheerfulness, which is white and yellow. So, we'll just kind of see how much I can get in here. And again, there's a break in the rain right now. I don't know how long that's going to last, but the temperature's dropping. So, yeah, it's winter. Hello, good time to plant. Okay, let's see how much we can get done.
And I've done the same thing here, where I lay the packages of bulbs in the approximate areas that I want to plant them. And I'm using the hori-kori here because, again, roots that have been established from plants that have been in here a year, and opening the packages, I kind of use the hori-kori for a lot of different things. Now, I did find some smaller alliums that I want to put here on the back of this bed. They're a type of onion, and the smell is a good repellent for digging animals and rabbits that are looking for things. So put them in there. Yeah, just finding good places here to put some of the bulbs. And I'm tucking those in by some perennials. I try to leave a lot of this garden undisturbed. So I'm moving some leaves around and some decaying foliage around to find planting pockets. Leave as much plant cover here as I can. And again, that is for the beneficial insects. There are ladybugs that I'll find resting under piles of leaves here, and also some perhaps hibernating bees. Many different kinds of bees here in this garden. So I want things that will support them as well. And it is a little bit wet and muddy here. I was kind of surprised.
Okay, so that's it for those two projects. I still have a bunch more to plant. Some more alliums in the rose garden, and then some of the smaller bulbs in the west garden up there just above our retaining wall. They're small, so that way, we can be closer to them and see them the minute we step outside the back door. That's the plan anyway. But at least I'm happy that I got some of these in. We live to fight another day. I'll be back. All right, so obviously the next day, we do have the sun out today, but I understand there's a big, super bad weather system moving this way. So this is pretty much it to try to get the bulbs in. After this, the ground may get a little too cold to work. Even though I've technically planted bulbs later than this, this is probably my last window. So this is the west garden. I kind of call it the upper west walled garden. And it's a nice little area right here, which I think would be super sweet to get some color, some spring color to look out the window first thing. And nothing cheers the heart like daffodils. And I have a bunch of them. Let me go get them and I'll show you what I've got. Okay, so nothing too crazy. I see some of these folks are planting thousands of bulbs, and that's not in my repertoire because it's just me and, limited. So I have Poeticus acatea, some white daffodils, which I understand are fragrant, and these are mid to late spring. Got about a dozen of those. Make that 24 of those. And then I have some orange and white mid-spring, 14 to 16 inches tall daffodils. They're a split corona called Love Call. I think it's called Love Call. Anyway, that's another bunch. Some nice big beefy bulbs, so that'll be kind of pretty. And then some little Spanish blue and pink bells. Now, since these can be kind of aggressive, if these are what I think they are possibly, I'm going to plant these here on this area because it is constricted by cement, by the brick wall here and the water fountain there, so not likely to go too far once I do that. Kind of the same thing here. Now here's some camassia, and these do like some nice moisture. And this area right here in front of the little stream / waterfall, it does stay fairly damp. Not full sun though or anything, but in the spring, although this is, let's see, it's called Blue Melody camassia. There's 10 little bulbs. Sun to part shade, late spring to early summer flowering. So this crabapple will be leafed out by then. So what I'm going to do is probably plant these where there's a little more sun over. Let me show you. Hello. Over in here, at the bottom of the waterfall, not directly below it because that does stay, I think, a little too damp for almost bulbs of any kind. I'm still looking for options for that one. And then I have Gypsy Queen hyacinths. So that's why whenever you plant hyacinths, be sure to wear some gloves because they are, the bulbs are a skin irritant. Oh, did I just wipe my face after that? Let's see what we can get done, okay? So, gotta have the gloves on. My fingers are getting numb. So the wind chill here is freezing. It's going to get more so in just a couple of hours. So we're going to get her done. Now I also have about 6 big Globemaster alliums to put in the rose garden after this. I think I'll have time to do that. And it is a little warmer on that side, on that little garden bed because it's protected from the wind. So, all right. You ready? Let's do this.
Kind of precarious here to kneel. There isn't a lot of room, so I had to do this kind of slowly. But again, digging away some of the decaying foliage and plant debris. A lot of this stuff I leave in place. Again, I'm doing that for beneficial insects. And over the course of the winter, a lot of this dried foliage will decay down where there isn't a whole lot to clean up. It's kind of a job that's a little bit, whether you clean it in the fall or you clean it in the spring, that's up to you. But I leave most things here in the fall just for the sake of overwintering insects. So I clear away a path as best I can. This area is also full of electrical cords, wiring. That green round thing you see in front of me is actually a Bose speaker. It's an outdoor speaker that my husband put in. And yeah, he wouldn't be happy if I severed the wiring to this. So trying to dig around it, and I will uncover all kinds of things when doing so. That's why a lot of this area and the things that I've put in this garden bed, this entire western garden bed, in fact, had to be hand dug because there are wires and there are all kinds of things back in here. We did call the service to mark them out early on. We did that earlier this year. We've done it last year. And we've done it repeatedly over the years, so I have a good feel on where things are and where areas I should avoid. So the soil is rich and dark in here. So that is the good news that I uncovered. But again, just have to plant around some things that are already in there and cover them up. And then I also wanted to plant some daffodils on the back of this speaker. So again, they don't get too tall, but they will bloom before a lot of this vegetation and the trees leaf out. So they'll have plenty of sun. Now this area is where I want to put the Camassia Blue Melody, and they are so pretty. And I know that they happen to be a favorite of hummingbirds and bees, because when I've planted Camassia in this approximate area a little bit farther to the right, a taller version, I just see all kinds of hummingbirds and things hovering around them. Here in the back, closer to the fence, I've planted the white daffodils. So I think it's really most impressive, and it really draws the eye when you've got a cluster of daffodils, not just one-off little maids in a row planted in a line, but make them look like a natural cluster. So I did plant all 24 of the bulbs in this area, in a pocket around this particular spot. This gets a lot of sun. I've planted it a couple feet away from the fence, so it shouldn't have that rain shield that kind of happens when you plant too close to the fence. But as I'm looking through all of these, I want to plant them, about 3-4 inches apart, because again, I'm looking for an impactful cluster of daffodils here. And I did uncover one that's just completely desiccated. It's just dust. And that happens sometimes. They are shipped from a ways away. They've been probably in that bag who knows when until they got shipped to me. So cover them up here. They've got a good, 6 inches of soil on top of them. Now I decided to put the hyacinths here by our memorial spot for one of our cats that passed. And no, the cat isn't buried there. This is just the memorial stone to honor her. And also now I have the big Globemaster alliums put there by the rose, by Generous Gardener, and also in the rose garden itself. And doing so, just uncovering planting pockets here is what I'm looking for. I found, there were other things planted. You can't really go there. There are some different lilies that have been planted in here. So trying to find a pocket that would work, that isn't already have some lilies or some bulbs. I don't want to displace anything in the process. And of course, a walnut. Darn walnuts. Find them everywhere. I have some very busy squirrels and some very busy squinnies. So I did put a Globemaster here by my wedding dress shrub rose, because I think that'll be a nice tall blue accent where I have these white roses, and also next to the pink rose that is new this year. So I think that'll be a nice spot. And again, alliums have to be about 6 inches deep, and they're critter resistant. Love that.
Well, after 3 different days and however many starts and stops, I finally got the bulb planting done, and just in time for this big Arctic blast that is going to arrive. You can tell it's already cold. Can you see my breath? Yeah, and that's only the beginning. We're supposed to have snow, like big snow, anytime now. And we're up for it. It's kind of reassuring to know that no matter what is thrown our way by Mother Nature, my plans for 2026 spring are safely tucked around and just waiting, dormant in the ground, ready to wake up whenever the weather provides. So, hey, we're blessed. I hope that you and your family are as well, and that your plans are certainly all tucked away and going on wherever you garden. It's kind of nice to make those plans and see what comes, right? I hope that you're safe and well. I do hope that you subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let me know what questions or challenges you have because of the weather. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.